Welcome to our deep dive on crushing debt fast when you're on a shoestring budget. Today, we'll confront hard truths and map out a practical plan to turn a multi-year debt into a months-long mission. We'll move step by step, highlight what actually changes your payoff timeline, and give you a clear, realistic playbook you can start today. Now, to set expectations for the journey ahead, let's look at the agenda. Here's our roadmap. First, we'll face the hard truth about paying off debt quickly on a low income. Then, we'll bust the myth that budgeting alone is enough when the numbers are tight. After that, we'll introduce the Accelerated Payoff Strategy, cover actionable side hustle ideas, and run the numbers. We'll also visualize the plan with diagrams and test your understanding with short quizzes. Finally, we'll wrap up with a concrete action plan and an important disclaimer. Next, let's start with the hard truth. If your income barely covers essentials like rent, utilities, and a minimum payment, trimming small expenses won't move the needle quickly. On a tight budget, cost-cutting has diminishing returns. When fixed expenses dominate, there's simply not enough left over to erase a multi-year debt in a matter of months. Therefore, we need to reach for a bigger lever than just saving a few euros here and there. With that in mind, let's transition to the myth of budgeting alone. Budgeting is a valuable starting point because it stops leaks and builds awareness. However, it is not a magic wand. When your income is low, and most of it is consumed by fixed obligations, the gains from cutting discretionary expenses are capped and diminish quickly. In contrast, boosting income has a compounding effect. Every extra euro applied to principal reduces interest charges and shortens the payoff timeline. Paying principal early has an outsized impact because interest is calculated on your remaining balance. Consequently, we must emphasize income growth and early principal payments. Now that we've reframed the problem, let's compare cutting costs versus increasing income side by side. On the left, cutting costs yields small, finite savings. It helps build discipline but often translates into a slow payoff timeline and can lead to burnout when taken to extremes. On the right, increasing income is scalable, accelerates the timeline, and directly attacks the principal, delivering immediate interest savings and visible progress. Therefore, when the goal is rapid payoff, the right-hand column, earning more, becomes the primary lever. With the trade-offs clear, let's move to the accelerated payoff strategy you can implement now. Here is the three-part accelerated strategy. Step 1. Extreme budgeting. After covering fixed costs, every discretionary euro goes to principal. Step 2. Side hustle. This is non-negotiable on a low salary if you want a fast payoff. Choose flexible, immediately monetizable work. Step 3. Immediate asset liquidations. Sell unused items to produce a lump sum that slashes principal and interest right away. Implemented together, these steps transform a multi-year plan into months. Next, let's explore concrete side hustle options and how to evaluate them. Choose side hustles that start paying within days, not months. Delivery or driving apps can be activated quickly. Freelance gigs in writing, design, or QA can be found on marketplaces. Microservices like tutoring or pet sitting can be promoted locally. Weekend retail or warehouse shifts offer predictable schedules. Finally, flipping items, sourcing cheaply, and selling online can generate lump sums. Estimate your expected hourly rate and weekly hours to project additional monthly income. With options in mind, let's run sample numbers to see how added income compresses your payoff timeline. Let's ground this in a simple model. 4,000 euros balance at a typical credit card APR around 18% for illustration. With only minimums of 120 euros, payoff can drag beyond 45 months and cost over 1,000 euros in interest. Under an extreme budget allocating 350 euros per month, you could finish in about 13 months, with roughly 420 euros in interest. Add a 400 euros side hustle to reach 750 euros per month, and you compress the timeline to about 6 months, with approximately 120 euros in interest. Include a 300 euros item sale in month 1, and you may shave a few weeks and a bit more interest. These are approximate figures for educational purposes. Your actual results will vary with APR, compounding rules, and minimum payment formulas. Now, to visualize the mechanics, let's use a flowchart. This flowchart shows the decision path. First, determine whether you can raise income this month. If yes, add a side hustle and immediately allocate the extra earnings to principal on top of your minimum payment. If not, start by selling unused items to generate a lump sum reduction. In both cases, channel every extra euro to principal. As principal falls, interest declines, which accelerates the payoff. Consequently, the debt-free date moves closer. To put the timeline in context, let's generate a visual schedule next. This timeline contrasts two trajectories. Path A, using extreme budgeting at €350 per month, lands around month 12 to 13. Path B, combining extreme budgeting with a €400 per month side hustle to reach about €750 monthly, collapses the period to roughly 5 to 6 months. A €300 asset sale in the early months advances the schedule. Notably, the halfway balance arrives much sooner on Path B, because both principal reductions and interest savings stack. With the timeframes clear, let's zoom into the math behind monthly payments and interest. Here is a compact way to think about payoff timing. Convert APR to a monthly rate by dividing by 12, with payment P and balance B. An approximate number of months N is given by the formula N equals negative natural log of 1 minus R times B divided by P, all over the natural log of 1 plus R. Plugging in B equals 4,000 and APR around 18% yields a monthly rate of roughly 1.5%. His Bafety. Paying $350 per month results in about 12 to 13 months. Increasing payment to $750 per month reduces the timeline to roughly 5 to 6 months. The lesson is that raising the monthly payment has a disproportionately powerful effect on the payoff timeline. Next, let's visualize where your extra cash should come from. This pie chart illustrates a healthy mix for accelerating payoff. The majority should come from income growth because it's scalable and repeatable. Expense cuts should support the plan by freeing extra cash, but they rarely suffice on their own. Asset sales provide immediate wins that reduce principal and interest quickly. Now that we've covered strategy and math, let's test your understanding with a quick quiz. Question: on a very low income, which action most dramatically shortens a €4,000 payoff timeline? Options: 1. Cutting small discretionary expenses only. 2. Switching bank accounts for minor fee savings. 3. Aggressively increasing monthly income and paying the extra to principal. 4. Waiting for a lower interest rate without changing payments. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is aggressively increasing monthly income and paying the extra to principal. Increasing the monthly payment produces a non-linear reduction in payoff time and interest, making it the dominant lever in this scenario. Next, let's do one more quick check. Question: which move creates immediate interest savings starting next statement cycle? Options: 1. Paying the minimum on time. 2. Making a lump sum principal payment early. 3. Deferring payments for a month. 4. Closing old accounts without reducing balance. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is making a lump sum principal payment early. Reducing the principal immediately lowers the base on which interest accrues, so you save interest starting with the next cycle. With the quizzes complete, let's distill the most important points. Here are the big takeaways. Budgeting is necessary to stop leaks but not sufficient for a fast payoff when income is very low. Income growth is the primary accelerator that compresses months into weeks. Selling assets early produces immediate principal cuts and interest savings. Every extra euro must be directed to principal with no exceptions during the sprint. Finally, track weekly so you can measure progress and maintain momentum. With that in mind, let's wrap this into a simple action plan. Here is a practical 30-day sprint. In week 1, audit your fixed costs, set a survival budget, and list items to sell. In week 2, launch a fast-paying side hustle and schedule 2 to 3 shifts or gigs. In week 3, sell your listed items and send the lump sum to principal immediately. In week 4, review your progress and raise your weekly income target by 10 to 20%. Repeat this loop until you are debt-free, celebrating small milestones along the way. Before we close, let's include a brief but important disclaimer. This content is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or tax advice. Your circumstances, interest rates, fees, credit terms, and local regulations may differ. Always verify details with your lender and consider consulting a qualified professional before making decisions. Now, as we conclude, I have a quick request to help this channel reach more people who need it. Thank you for watching. If this helped you, please like, share, and subscribe. In the comments, tell us your next side hustle move and the one action you'll take this week to accelerate your payoff. Your story could inspire someone else to take the first step.